3, this is your guided reading video for Friday the 29th of January. Now what we're going to be doing today, we are going to be creating questions for a purpose, and that'll come a little bit more clearer once we've read a little bit of the story. So we're going to start reading a little bit more of Operation Gadget Man, and then I'll explain the activity for today. So chapter 3, and it's called Gadget Man's Letter. Oh, how exciting! They all trooped into the sitting room and sat down, beans between Louisa and Anne. Then they huddled over the letter. There was something there. Beans just knew it. If only she could put her finger on it. Well, there was the way the letter was written for a start. Dad's writing was terrible. But even he knew that you started sentences with a capital letter and you didn't just chuck them in whenever you felt like it. That's it, the capitals! Beans bounced so hard that she almost bounced herself off the sofa. What about them? Louisa frowned. Someone get a pen and paper out, quick! Beans directed. Anne got out the notepad and pencil from a spare kit. I'm going to read out all the capital letters Dad's written in this letter, and Anne, you can write them down, okay? Beans said. Gotcha. Anne nodded. What are you doing? Louisa complained. I don't get it. You would if you read the instruction book in your spare kit, Beans told her. Dad's trying to tell me something. I just know he is. I reckon the capitals are some kind of code. The first set of capitals spell my name, Beatrice. That's not in the code. I'm sure. I think that's just to get my attention by using the full yucky name. So I put a comma after that and then begin a new line. Right, let's see. It begins I-R-L-E-I-A-A-D-I. Beans glanced over to make sure Anne was writing down all the letters. Louisa moved to sit on the other side of Anne. That doesn't spell anything. Louisa stared down at what Anne was writing. Of course it doesn't, not yet, Beans said. That'll be too easy. Where was I? She carried on, reading out all the other capitals in her dad's note. It took longer than she thought it would. Beans read them out first, and then got Louisa to read them out again as a double check for Anne. Put the letters T-H-E together, because Dad did, Beans said doubtfully. Maybe he means for those letters to be left together, like the ones in my name at the top of his note. At last they finished. So, what do we do now? Anne frowned as she scrutinised what she'd just written. Ooh. Beatrice, I-R-L-E-I-A-D-I-B-I-E-I-T-M-I-W-E-F-E-C-N, the I-L-I-I-T-N-O-E-B-S. What does that mean? Louisa asked. Haven't a clue, Beans shrugged. It's one of Dad's games, so I guess we could go through some of his code suggestions. Louisa, what's the first secret code he talks about in the instruction book? I can't remember. Louisa took the book out of her spare briefcase and turned past the introduction to the chapter on secret codes and ciphers. Blah, blah. Here! This looks promising. The simplest code is the one where every alternate or third highlighted letter should be crossed out. Louisa read from the book. This type of code is particularly useful for the spy who has to leave a message in a hurry. And, yeah, Beans interrupted. Never mind the rest. Let's try and see what it says. Okay, I'll cross out every other letter after your name, Anne said slowly. Let's see. Leave the I, cross out the R. Leave the L. The silence in the sitting room was deafening as Louisa and Beans watched Anne cross out every other letter after Beans' real name, except for the word the. Beatrice, I-L-I-A-I-I-I-M-I-F-C, the I-I-T-O-B. That doesn't sound right, does it? That doesn't make much sense, Louisa said. No, it doesn't, Beans agreed, just as disappointed. Let me write out the whole lot again, and this time I'll try crossing out every third letter, Anne suggested. Beans, do you really think it's a coded message? Louisa asked doubtfully, as Anne wrote. I think it must be. Why would Dad write so strangely otherwise? Beans replied. But he's probably just doing it as a joke, so we have to use our spy kits. Beans tried to tell herself that it was the only logical explanation, but that didn't explain the butterflies in her stomach. If Dad was going away, why didn't he just tell her beforehand? And why didn't he phone Gran himself? Dad had only been away from home overnight once before, and he told Beans 2 weeks in advance, and Gran had come to stay the day before Dad went away. No, something strange was definitely going on. Okay, ready, Anne said. I'll try every third letter now. No, hang on, Beans interrupted. What capital letter did you cross out first after Beatrice? The R. Why? Anne asked. Try crossing out the I first, then do each alternate letter after that, Beans suggested. If that doesn't work, then we'll try every third letter. We should do the easiest chords first. Okay, Anne agreed, and she began to cross out every other letter from the first I. And the chord comes out as Beatrice. Read between the lines. And I'm going to end it there today, Year 3. So what I'd like you to do now, I'd like you to come up with 3 questions that you could ask about the story so far. So you could think about the questions about the character, questions that you could ask Dad, questions that you could ask Beans, Louisa, Anne. There's lots of different questions you can come up with. What I'd like to know is, why did Dad have to write a chord? Maybe he was in a hurry. Maybe that someone was watching him write the letter. Who knows? Okay, so that is your task for today. I want 3 questions, Year 3. Okay, superstars, have a super day. See you soon. Bye-bye.